Yo, what's going on, homie?
Yo. How's it going?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How your day going?
It's going good, man. It's a short week. We had this Monday off, and I'm just kind of loving it, man. I went out on the back porch today. It was just like, why can't I have 3-day weekends every week?
What was it California that I think that just made it in the law? I think they're doing 4-day work weeks now. I think it's California.
Legit? I might need to
I,
move
I,
to
I
Cali.
think it's legit California that said that they wanted to move to 4-day work week. So let me look it up while we
I
getting
might
this
need,
show kicked off.
I might need to move to California. Palm trees, beach. California just got it all. They also got high cost though. Like that's
Yeah,
probably
they said
feels it.
early in 2022 legislative session, the Assembly Bill 2932 was introduced and known as the 4-day work week bill, which sought to change when an employee would be paid 1.5 times their regular rate in redefining the work week. I
The
don't know. I don't know if it's passed, but this was as of. Oh no, it said May 3rd. May 3rd, the 4-day work week bill stalled in state legislature.
dang.
Yeah. So,
See, this goes to my theory. You know my theory that what we should do. I used to say all black people should do this. Now I've kind of refined this to people that are invited to my specific cookout. So not the cultural cookout, but my specific cookout, right? We just got to move to a state, take it over, and then just change it from the inside and be like, yeah, we changed the state name. We changed all the cities. We passed legislation. We only do 4-day work weeks. We got all the best basketball teams, sports, and everything. If we organize this, we could totally take over like Mississippi or something. You can move to Mississippi and turn over the whole state. I
see,
actually think you could buy cheap and raise it up. Vibes.
I think. All right. So you have been on this buy a whole city and move, or buy a whole state and move there vibe since I've known you. I think in order to do that, I think you have to be strategic in the state. I don't think Mississippi one of them places where we could buy enough. Like it's too many racist folk over there running a whole lot of stuff for
Uh-huh.
you to even go down that road. So y'all excuse me. I'm putting y'all on mute back and forth on me and Carrie talk while I mix this drink up real quick.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying Mississippi makes the most sense, right? In
I mean,
terms
cause it's cheap there, but but both of them got kids, bro. Like I can't begin to put
I
my
don't want to
kids
be
in.
I don't want to be the first.
You want
I
to
want to
be
be
like
on the first list. I don't want to be the first. Hey man, if you know nothing about me, know that I am not the person for the spotlight. I'm the person adjacent to the spotlight that's like, yeah, that's a great idea. I am not gonna be the first person to move into Mississippi and be like, guess what? We taking it over. Now I would say, as a spectator, I could spectate the hell out of that, right? I could be like this. Now, what y'all need to do is get a whole army. Right?
like I mean, so there's a fraternity brother of mine, Jay Bailey. He him and his wife bought some land up in the I don't know, it's out on Lake something in Georgia. And I mean he's been doing right. He's not stripping the land, but he's building his own like kind of dream home out there. And in the process, as he's been cutting trees down to do that, he's been selling them back to like lumber yards and lumber mills. So he bought a good chunk of land, and so he's selling the trees that are being cut down to make room for his home to make space, And I mean, he wants to do like a hunting club out there. Like I mean, he has enough land out there to do some major stuff, and it's like so this goes into the conversation that you're having and that what Candace and I have been having is how do we just begin to leverage our assets in a different way that allow us to maximize our family's potential, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just like I'm like, man, like that's so dope. He's like, yo, I want to raise cattle.
Mm.
He's like, I want to do it all. He's like, this is my property, right? I want to do things that allow me to better leverage and have not necessarily, yes, multiple streams of income, but really, how do we leverage every piece of our asset to do bigger things, right? So it's not just about owning the land, but can I turn my land into income producing property? And I'm like, dope.
See, I aspired to do none of that. You said woods, trees, cutting down stuff. That's why I said
doing it.
I ain't trying to be the first.
People to do it.
I'm not trying to be the first. What I'm trying to do is be on the list, on the first list. You know what I'm saying? Like the person that's like, yeah, I couldn't make it this year, but I'm out there next year after y'all clear the trees. But I ain't farming nothing. And I honestly think Mississippi makes the most sense. I know people are gonna push back on this. Mississippi makes the most sense. You start from the coastline and start just filling it in, right? It's just reverse gentrification. That's what we need to do.
I ain't going to Mississippi.
Why? So where you gonna go?
Bro, I'm not going. Like we let me tell you something.
You gonna go Alabama?
I ain't going to either one.
Louisiana.
I'm barely making it in Georgia. In 2022, the 2022nd year of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I don't even know if that's right. It just sounds like it flowed right there. I am barely making it in Georgia in the ass backwardsness that is this state, right? Like,
so then I mean, like you know how I feel about the Gulf, right? So I love the Gulf Coast. I think the beaches there are some of the best, and it's cheap real estate. Now, understanding that hurricanes come there all the time, right? Then the next place that I can think of is coming over to the East Coast and going right up the East Coast. It's like, meh, where am I go? I'm not going to Florida. Florida is too hard to take over, right? Coastal Georgia, you could try there, but that's not the state, right? You could try South Carolina.
Bro,
South Carolina, you might be able to pull South Carolina off, right?
You are, yeah, you could probably pull South Carolina. But here my problem. You are requiring way too much work and effort from me because I think I told you this weekend, my dream goal in life right now is to get to a space where I can be a beach bum and sell like scuba diving equipment or rent surfboards or own a flip-flop shop on a Caribbean island, right? Like, this is the amount of work that I am willing to put in. I legitimately sat on a beach when we went to Puerto Rico for spring break. And I said, I wonder what my investment would have to be if I just wanted to hire a crew of people and had them sell the beach chairs at the beach. You know, and you get your 2 beach chairs and your umbrella with a little picnic table. Like, what does my investment have to be to do that? Because like that is literally the amount of work in 2022 that I am willing to put in to. I just want to retire. No, I'm over it. I'm over the grind. I'm over the hustle. I don't even want to work. No more. I am over it.
I'm trying to take over. Keisha said she doesn't even stop in Mississippi, and I trust Keisha.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So maybe it's not Mississippi, but y'all, we got to take over our whole city. And Jeff has heard me talk strategically. He knows I have specific cities on my list that are ripe for the pirating of. That I've totally thought this out, and then like that's the spot. Why?
Hey, you call me, I'll write you a check.
There is a place in Georgia. I'm not going to blow up the spot because then everybody's going to think about it, right? There's a spot in Georgia that has a port so that you could eventually get cruises there, right? It's got an airport. It's got a university. It's got a school system. And they have a population that's close to 50 to 60% African American already, right? That's a ripe city. You can take that city over. Start small, build it up, cultural place. That's what we need to do.
You gonna change the name of it to Wakanda when you're done?
If I could. Just cause, right?
Hey, so real talk. I will be more than happy to send my donation to your cause.
Right.
And hopefully I am financially stable enough that I can buy a building for you. Like, hey, Jeff, you know what? This block ain't doing too tough. Can you buy it? And then boom,
No, man. You got the wrong landing zone. Jeff, I'm gonna put you to work. I'm gonna be like, hey man,
I just told you how much I want to work.
We got to get the development people in here. You don't need to buy a building. I need you to get other people to buy a building.
That's too much, bro. That's too much work. I literally just said my ideal goal. If I could cash out right now,
right?
If I could cash out right now, I would go. And I've told Candace this. I would literally be a beach bum selling flip flops. I don't even want to sell nothing too strenuous, right? Because see, the flip flop joints, like all I got to do is carry about 5 or 6 sizes, probably 9 sizes,
right?
Small, medium, large, extra large, and women's and men's, and I'm done.
Right.
That's it.
That's all
I want to do.
All I'm trying to do is find a place or build a place where I can just exist. That's it. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to exist and not have to deal with the bull, right? Like I want to be able to go to Target and make sure that the cultural hair section is bigger than the non-cultural hair section, right?
You're asking for too much from me right now. Maybe I'm 39 now.
I'm asking for a lot. I'm asking for a lot. It's a 3-day weekend. My bad.
Like, bro, I'm telling you, like, I want my biggest decision to be, damn, the ocean took my sunglasses again. Do I go buy the same pair today?
No, I'm down with that for retirement, right? Danielle knows openly. My retirement plan is to sit on the deck, watching the beach, read the newspaper, listen to some music, and drink my coffee. Mind my business. That's all I want. Don't bother me. You ain't gotta bother me. I just need my coffee, my music, and something to read.
I want to I think I told this story in the last organization I worked for. One of our board members retired at the age of 50. And now, granted, she was CHRO of a major corporation, so she did really, really well financially. But it changed my perspective on what I thought, how long I was willing to work. So that changed me there. Like, whoa, people retiring that early, and then COVID hit, and we had this conversation. It reframed my thought process on what success versus production looks like, defining a successful day versus a productive day. And so ever since those two things, I have landed in this space where I know right now at 39, I cannot work till 65. Can't do it, won't do it. Can't do it, won't do it. Like not even retire and then go and do a side hustle, right? Like people are like, oh, you can, like Candace owns a business. She's like, I don't even want to, if I owned a business, I don't want to work my own business after about 60, right?
Yeah.
I'm done. Like, I think I got about 7-8 more years. I'll probably say I probably got 10 more good years of grinding really, really, really hard like we do now. And then I'm done.
I think what stuck with me, and then we do have topics, y'all. This isn't a topic. I think the thing that stuck in with me was my dad said to me, you want to get paid for what you know and not what you can do, right?
Yeah, I feel that.
And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So at some point, I tell this to my team all the time. The things that we're building here, if we build it right, can be the legacy builder. People would look back and be like, this is where it started. This is how you built this, right? Then from there, just teach it. Just teach it. You don't got to teach a lot. People will pay to learn, right? How did you do this? How did this happen? What was the context? And I feel like coming from education, that is the model, right? You get paid for what you know, and bringing that to a newer generation of people, you know, I'm totally down with that. So I think it just redefines what and how, but my ultimate goal is to take over a city. I just think that would be bomb. Just to show that you could. You know what I mean? Like what if out of nowhere, because you got to be super slick about this, and we only have 5 people viewing this, but hopefully people will watch this later so they'll know. They'll look back at this and be like, that guy came up with a plan, right? Brunswick, Georgia, out of nowhere, gets a major basketball team. Next thing you know, a football team. And you're like, what's going on? They conspired to build up a whole town and take it over, and you can't get in, right? Right? That's the bomb flex right there. That's the cultural flex.
I don't disagree with you at all. I don't want you to walk away from this conversation and say, Jeffrey disagrees with me. No, Jeffrey does not disagree with you. I just say, I don't know if Jeffrey. So I've always wanted to run for office.
Yeah,
that's always been a goal, and it's, or at least it was a goal. It used to be a goal. I don't think it's a goal anymore, right? Because it's just, like I don't have the. So one, I think I'm jaded by the system, right? I don't think the system in politics is geared towards really helping people anymore. It's just kind of geared towards remaining in power, right? What do I have to do to enrich myself and remain in power? So I think that kind of moved me away from the idea of ever being in office. But then 2, I think this idea that like society has always told us that we grind for 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and then we work till we're 65, and then we retire and we start taking Social Security, and then we live off our kids, and then we die, right? Like that's the trajectory of life, right? But at what point in there am I supposed to live? Right? At what point am I supposed to enjoy the fruits of my labor, enjoy my time with my family, or enjoy, like we've busted our ass to get our families to the point where we are, our ancestors' wildest dreams, or we're doing better than, we're doing exactly what our parents set us up to do, right? So at what point do we start living in that promise, and we start doing things and investing in ourselves, so that instead of all of this effort that we spend and all this time we spend giving to other people and giving outside of our home, when do we take the time to just take a step back and enjoy that moment, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where I think COVID did it. For COVID, and my old board member did it. It was like, bro, like, so old board member right now, she said, I talked to her a couple weeks ago. She said she's going to finish building her vacation home in Alaska, like in the next couple months, right?
That don't even make sense to me,
bro. That's what I'm saying, right?
Who vacations to Alaska?
Who has the money to build a second home in Alaska, right? Like not, hey, we're gonna build this home, we're gonna Airbnb that some bitch out, right? No. This is my other home. I'm going to spend 6 months a year here.
And right? That's when the person that you're talking to likes their space, right? They're like, yeah, ain't nobody coming up here to visit me. That's why I came up here. I went to Alaska to get away from everybody.
Right.
Ain't none of y'all gonna bother me. I'm out here minding my business. Don't look for me. Don't come for me. I'm done. Right.
But she also grinded hard, right? She said, I grinded hard. And so for me, I'm just like, bro, like, I think, Xavier's 8, Avery is 3. They'll be gone. We'll still be fairly young. Like, at what point do we got to take a deep breath and go, yo, let's live. Like, let's go for it. Like, let's have the fun that we're meant to have. Let's show our kids the world. Let's do the things that we were intended to do, as opposed to like, let's continuously grind all the time.
Right.
And that's my struggle. It's like I've grinded ever since I started working. And so at what point do we just take a deep breath and go, I've grinded enough. Let's have a little bit more balance, and let's give
Yeah.
some time and energy to the fam.
Crazy.
Yeah. So hey, sorry.
Reflection.
It was dope reflection. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, welcome to the show, man. Can we welcome people 22 minutes in? Can
Welcome. Right. What are y'all drinking?
That's the question.
You got to answer that question. And nobody answered that question. I think it's because people are very interested in what we were just talking about. Yeah. But we do need you to hit that comment section with what you're drinking. Even if it's water. Tal finally made it home. I'm hoping that she made it home. She was affected by all these flight cancellations, man. It's been crazy here.
Yeah, Candace was giving me the inside scoop, man, because she works for it. One of her clients is one of those that support the industry. And so the realities that she says the airlines are really starting to deal with are people starting to crews and pilots are starting to get impacted by that mask mandate coming off everywhere around the world. And so COVID numbers going up, and it only take, ain't no backup pilot, right? Like,
right.
If the pilot call out, his flights ain't happening. If you lose two flight attendants, the flight ain't happening. So
that's wild.
That was her guess, right? I don't want to say that's what she heard. That was
her
guess. So
right.
But it made perfect sense to me. So
I mean, shout out to the pilots, man. It's a hard knock life for them pilots, man. They gotta get paid, gotta get rest, gotta do things. You know what I mean? Like it's hard out here. So
Tal says she had maintenance issues.
Maintenance with the quotes though, with the maintenance. We looked on Flight Tracker, was like that plane been sitting there since 7 o'clock. A damn maintenance issue, and it's at the hub. Like, what maintenance issue you got at the hub that y'all had to fly in apart?
Yep.
I don't like when airlines say that. Like, oh, we just had to swap out a part, and now we're gonna get it on its way. It's like, no. You go test that plane real quick, because I don't want to be the first. I want to be on the list, on the first list. I don't want to be on the first, though. I don't want to be the first one.
See, okay, here go my issue. Here go my issue with this, right? You said I got to go get another part and put it on the plane. Would it not be faster to just go and pull another plane out the back?
Right.
Like, can we not just gas up another plane? Like, are all the planes in the fleet accounted for?
Right. That's where it's like, what?
So at Hartsfield Jackson, Delta got a plane with an issue. It ain't no other plane around back parked in the corner in the lot. Like,
no other plane parked around. Hey, Bobo, go get that plane. What I'm saying? Hey, what you need? I need a 737. Go get a 737. Got you.
I'm sorry. Like, I just have issue with the fact that, like, it ain't no more planes back there, right? Like,
right. So they all up in the air? What's going on?
Like, this ain't a shoe store, right? Like, it ain't like I'm trying to buy a size 9, right? Like,
right.
So we out of all the J's? No, like, there's another plane back there that's right. Not being flown.
Go get that plane. Go get that plane and get me back home. We got to figure this out.
Get me back home.
Right.
Like, there has to be, like, that has to be a thing, right? Like, I'm sorry. You said, you're literally telling me that we flying out of Dallas, right? And I think Dallas is hub to American, maybe. So all the American planes,
right? Hey,
Dallas.
Hey, this why again, I'm at least somewhat lucky that I have not run into these issues flying Delta, right? Delta makes you bougie as hell. It's American where you be like this. You sitting at your Delta gate and you're like, your flight will be boarding in 38 minutes. Be like, bro, thank you. You hear across the hall, you like, shout out to our passengers flying American Airlines. Sad to let you guys know. Unfortunately, the plane was supposedly from Raleigh at 3 o'clock today. That didn't happen. So we're going to go ahead and refund you guys. Oh, refund. So I still got a seat? No. we're just gonna cancel the tickets. Hope you find your best way home. Bye.
Hey, Tal said they was giving spirit vibes. Let me tell you something.
Spirit vibes. Anytime you get Spirit vibes on any airline that's not Spirit, that's some spooky stuff. Where you like this? What is happening here? What is happening? Did they just delay my plane 4 times? And no, they didn't catch an attitude about it. Did they catch it? Wait a minute. Is this the Spirit crew?
Fam. So we flew Frontier 2 years ago. I forgot where we were going. We was just trying to get somewhere. My man, the flight attendant stood up. He was doing this might have been one of them early flights, like right when we started flying in the midst of COVID. And my man, flight attendant, stood up. He was doing the checklist. My man stood up and he was like, "Hey, whose phone is this?" And he's like, "Now that I got everybody's attention, y'all need to put y'all masks on." I said, "What?"
It's this counter. It's the counter. Southwest, Spirit, all of them. They done figured out the brand. It's like keeping it 100, right? But I think they think that's funny on the front end, right? But then they don't realize that you're thinking to yourself, like, if it's an emergency, how would I know? Should I be looking for you to grab your parachute, jump out the joint, and be like, "Oh, well, F y'all, bye."
Fam, I can't. I can't. Not no more. I can't do it no more. Like it's Delta.
That's why I pay for. That's why I pay for Delta. I paid for this, right? I paid for this experience. But granted, when Delta goes sideways, you get salty as hell. Everyone gets salty as hell. We like this. Wait a minute. I paid premium. What do you mean it's delayed? 13.
And I'm still waiting on my money, right? Like, so, know, because we got our flight canceled on Delta coming home from Puerto Rico. And I don't even know what the reason was. It's irrelevant at this point. And so they supposed to refund you not only the cost for your ticket, but they also supposed to refund you all of your expenses associated with your delay. So we got about 3 racks because we were delayed a full weekend. Ooh. So that was hotels. That was hotel for 3 nights. So 2 hotel rooms because it was me, my kids, and my father-in-law. So 2 hotel rooms and all the meals associated with that weekend. And we was like, yo, since we stuck, we might as well rent a car and go to the other side of the island. So we rented a car, went to the other. So we was like, boom, throw that on there too, right? So you talking about 3 racks we put on the credit card for. So Delta about to run me my money for that too now. Like Delta gonna have to run me my money. Like they are not without fault.
Right.
I'll just say when I'm in the air, I prefer the Delta experience than the others.
Right. Yeah. Can't say it wasn't available for 3 more days.
Yeah. I don't remember what happened.
Y'all was flying out of San Juan?
Flying out of San Juan to Atlanta.
Hell?
I don't even know what happened. She probably remember because she got the end. But I want to say it might have been folk getting sick. Maybe. Anyway, she'll put it in the comment section if she want to say it. But I forgot.
That's wild, bro.
Wild. So anywho.
We've only had that happen one time to us. We were on AirTrain.
See?
And they canceled our flight. Well, no. They overbooked the flight. They was like, anybody want to volunteer to give up your seat? And I was like, how much y'all giving? And they were like, oh, we'll give you like $200. I was like, I'm gonna need $200. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna need about 6. And I'm gonna need our ticket set on another flight tomorrow, plus an anywhere ticket. And they were like, okay, cool. I was like, oh, for real? I should have asked for 3 anywhere tickets. Damn. But
that's what we. That's what we waiting on Delta for because we asked for them to refund the cost of all of the tickets for the flight home. So all us 4 and my father-in-law, we want that money back.
Right.
We want the money that we spent back.
Right.
And we want, like, I want to say we asked like 25 or 30,000 sky miles for each person on the flight.
Hey,
So
that's why you do it. That's
seemed pretty easy to me.
Right. Hey, they got to make that happen.
Run me my money. Hey, you ready to get it? So
hey,
what are you drinking, by the way? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking hard apple cider. I still have some adulting to do after the show, so
me too.
A hard apple cider will do it for me tonight.
Yeah.
So what you got? Because you got to talk about yours.
Yeah, no. I found a recipe online. I just sent it to you. I made it for you yesterday. Called a bourbon mule. I think is what it's called.
The bourbon mule.
It's called a pineapple bourbon mule. Really fire, right? So it's pineapple juice, orange bitters, bourbon, ginger beer. I'm supposed to have some brown sugar simple syrup, but I was too lazy to make the brown sugar simple syrup. But it tastes really good without the brown sugar.
Yeah, it was hitting yesterday.
And then some fresh lime juice.
Yeah.
Really, really dope. So, I mean, you get the bite from the ginger beer, sweetness from the pineapple,
smokiness
from the bourbon. You're hitting all notes. So that's what I'm drinking today. I'm going to be light. I'm probably only going to have one because, like you, I probably got a little bit of work I need to do when I'm done.
I got a little bit of adulting. And this is the sad part where we were just talking about grinding and all that stuff, right? It's like, even though it was a 3-day weekend, I looked at today as the bonus day to get ahead on some things with some work. And that just didn't plan out, you know? So here I am. Got to put in some work afterwards. Got to watch the kids, you know, got to make it happen. Got to make it happen. Being an adult. Right.
No, we took the kids to the pool today, man. So that was, I'm tired.
I hear you.
It was pool day. So we got to the pool about 2, let the kids hang out till about 6, 7.
Yeah.
And now they both upstairs are unconscious.
I hear that. Hey, so where do you want to start? Where do you want to start on the topic? We got some good topics. You want to talk about artists and their money, or you want to talk about comedian beef?
The name of the show is What's Beefin', so I think we probably need to start with the DL and Monique beef again. Like,
ooh, DL and Monique. Y'all following this? If y'all following this, y'all gotta hit that like, gotta hit that love button if you following this. The beef between Monique and DL. Monique aired DL out in Detroit.
But is this their first beef, or is Monique just beef? It's just Monique just in the news pretty often for beefing with people. Like, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like
this is a continuation beef.
I feel like it might be a continuation, but I couldn't find anything to back it up. So for those that are not paying attention, that had lives going on this weekend, and you were out there living it, let's talk about it. So Monique, DL Hughley, and 2 other comedians were doing a show in Detroit. Monique was under the impression that she was the headliner. DL Hughley apparently was under the impression that he was the headliner. This mattered because once the show got started, DL Hughley said, "I'm not coming out. I'm not going to do the show because I don't open for anybody. Monique needs to open for me." After some back and forth, to my knowledge, Monique came out and said, "Okay, I'll open." She got out there and aired DL Hughley out. Like, talking about Source, Snoop Dogg at the Source Awards aired him out. She aired him out like, what?
Yeah.
Y'all like what up the West Coast?
Yeah. What took me was when she was like, "So you don't open for nobody?" Well, guess what? You open for the Kings of Comedy, and I closed for the Queens of Comedy. So I was like, oh.
Right. Big flex.
Oh.
Big flex on Monique. She aired him out so bad. Yeah. The host of the show came back. I was like, the hell did I walk into? Right.
Bro.
They did the show, and then DL got social media behind him because I think he struck first in social media world, right? So he posted up what looked to be like a memo or a contract, a kind of unsigned contract thing that said he was due to be the highest paid headliner, first seat or whatever. And then basically threw a lot of heavy shade on Monique, saying This isn't the first time she's done this. Everybody else is the problem. She got to recognize that she's the problem. Then, in true DL Hughley fashion, he said, the person you portrayed in Precious actually turned out to be an autobiography.
Whoa.
And took major shots. Well, Monique came back with receipts, multiple receipts, that she was like, oh, boo-boo, you got a memo. I have a signed contract.
Yeah.
You said that's the run of the show. That is the run of the show from the night when the show happened. I have all the receipts up until that point that show I'm the headliner. It's my show, right?
But then she went on to say then she went in on him. She went on Steve Harvey. She went on all of them and was like, y'all have issues because I have a black husband and y'all married white women.
Oh.
And I was like, hold on.
Taking them shots.
But Steve ain't married to a white woman.
Well,
but I see what you're doing. Y'all just upset. So she was like, and then she went on to say, let's talk about what DL really stands for. Because it ain't your name. I think you wanted them kind of, and I'm like, don't go there. Just don't say that. And then I don't think I think I was listening in and out. So I don't think she talked about his sexuality too much after that. But she aired that dude out, and I was like, ugh.
And you know, I gotta say, I am a full believer in the crazier someone sounds in Hollywood. I'm really interested in how much truth there is in what they're talking about. Because I believe Hollywood is just a whole nother crazy, right?
Yep.
So when Monique talks about these things, it then comes with her own paperwork, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big receipt checker, but I mean, how am I going to argue with that, right? She is like backing up her own truth. And as crazy as that might sound, it's got actual facts behind it. And I'll be like, yo, what you going to say? I mean, apparently she's right. Y'all are kind of biased against her and against females in this game. And I will be I'm always surprised by how people don't go to bat for her. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that's just crazy. And it could be that maybe she's just lost and confused. But dude, that whole Monique DL Hughley beat, that thing crazy out there.
And I just like I mean, I don't understand how Monique ended up in the center of these beefs.
Yeah.
Right. Like at some point, right? Like, so she could be completely in the right.
Right.
In all of these situations, right? But at some point, or not at all, but in some of these situations, but at some point, if you keep being in the center of them all, do you have to take a step back and ask why? Or do you have to say
that's a good question. That's a good question. Because I think Monique,
I could totally be wrong here, right? I'm okay with being wrong, but don't you, if I'm always at the center of beefs, do I have to stop and say, is it something I'm doing?
See, I don't believe in that part, right? I believe that there are certain levels of success and playing this game in Hollywood calls for you sometimes to take a back seat, right? Handle stuff in the behind the scenes or quietly, like how they would like you to. But I don't think Monique rubs me as that person. So she's the type of person that as soon as you offend her, she will air you out, right?
I feel that. Okay. I hear you.
And I wonder how many times she's taken that L behind scenes, right? To just be like, I ain't gonna do it no more. I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna say what's going on, and whether y'all mess with it or not, I'm making money and I'm doing me. So just let me be. You know what I mean? And I really thought about that after Dave Chappelle was talking about what his mom was saying to him growing up, when she was like, sometimes you have to roar like a lion to be as quiet as a sheep or something like that. It was, I'm probably getting a quote wrong, but it was like, you got to air people out to let them know, don't come at you with no BS, right?
So, and I think that's what your wife is saying. I just put it up on the screen. And maybe that's what it is.
We align. Because we align. We on the same page.
She won't sit down and shut up, or she won't like in the middle America framing for athletes, she won't shut up and dribble.
Right.
And that makes perfect sense, right? Maybe she's just not that type. Well, we obviously see that she ain't that type. That's just gonna sit down and sit in the corner and take this ass whooping and take this L, right? She gonna say what she want to say, and let the chips fall where they fall.
Can I give you guys an unpopular opinion while we're on the topic of comedians?
You tend to give a one or two every week, so it's okay.
Dave Chappelle is currently losing me as a fan for what happened with this guy that ran up on stage. The more details that are coming out about this whole thing with the guy ran up on stage and threatened him, and then so the part where I was riding with it to a certain point was like Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage. He kept doing the show. I was like, my man, Dave, man, he still kept going, man. That's what's up. Then they were like, oh, Chris Rock was back there too. It's like, okay. Then they said Chris Rock said, I got slapped by the softest in rap, right? And I was like, okay. So now you kind of bragging about it. And then when they said, oh yeah, it was like some rappers went backstage and beat the hell out of the dude, right? I was like, and then they said, well, he seemed like he was mentally disturbed and y'all still beat him up. And then when they said Dave Chappelle went backstage and told him this moment will be over because you mean nothing, basically. He like called him out and said like this moment as minuscule as your life is or something to that extent. And I was like, Dave, I'm not the one to call you out because I ride with you a lot, right? But this whole cocky, like no one can touch me type of deal, the dude is speaking his truth, which is you've made this man's life harder with your jokes. There's supposed to be jokes on your end. It's not jokes for everyone. You're losing me, right? Now the fact that him and Chris Rock have been going around talking about it, and it empowered Ricky Gervais to say some slick stuff about transgender people at a transgender event, which was like, what is going on with these comedians that think you could just say whatever you want? And you're kind of losing me. So I bring this up because DL Hughley fits into that box for me as somebody that I used to have a lot of respect for, but then his comments about Kanye West edged into the space of like, the dude has mental issues going on, and now you coming at him making jokes about him, and I'm just not feeling you. So I can honestly understand where Monique is coming from, the space of like, you don't know these people behind closed doors, and the things they do and how they move aren't as applaudable or honorable as you think they are. And yeah, so the more stuff that comes out about Dave Chappelle, I'm hugely disappointed in that. Chris Rock, now making his jokes, disappointed. Now DL Hughley, disappointed. But go ahead, what you're saying.
No, I think what you're getting towards is something that I was listening to Kev on stage he talks about it a little bit, where he talks about comedians today are really struggling with remaining relevant, right? And they feel older comedians or a lot of comedians don't like their work to be censored.
Right.
And so they struggle with being funny and being relevant if their work is being censored. And he was like, so Kev's argument was you just have to be better at being relatable and remaining relevant, understanding that not every joke, or how do you run up to the line of making a joke without stepping over it. And that's the true art in comedy, in his opinion, was how close can I get to the line without being offensive or without stepping over the line. And a lot of comedians today, his argument, are really struggling with that ideal of how close can I get to the line without going over it, And most comedians today can't do that because they've never had to. And I was like,
Yeah.
So
I think it's true. I think for some of these artists, for some of these rappers, I mean, comedians and people, it's like, dude, you like find another way, right?
find a different stick.
If they ain't working for you, one, you're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to learn. So let me back up. It's weird that I can draw the same parallel between these black comedians and conservative Republicans, right? That refuse to change their voice for the ages, right? It's changed, my dude, right? You got to change with the times. It's okay if you didn't think about it now, if you didn't think about it back then, right? There's sexuality is a spectrum. You can't be out here making fun of everybody like that, right?
Yep.
And if you got to lean on that to get your laughs off, then maybe you're not that funny anymore, and maybe that's okay. But
I'm not willing to burn you for jokes like we were talking about this yesterday, like this weekend with my mom when we were in Augusta. Like, I'm not gonna burn Bernie Mac for the him downstairs joke, right? I want some milk and cookies, right? That was a totally, God rest his soul, right? He couldn't make that joke today.
Right.
But if he was alive today, I'm not going to cancel man for making that joke when he made it, because in that moment, all right, was the joke funny? Yes. Was it a more acceptable form of comedy in that moment? 100%. Right. But if you're going to make that joke today and not being able to read the room and understand that society is different today, then that's where I think I draw the line and I have issue, right? Like, you have to be able to have some perspective about where we are as a society today versus where you want your, whether it's comedy or your art or whatever, or your words. I think people want, they live and die by this freedom of speech thing in the Constitution, but they struggle with the fact that speech still has consequence. Right? Action still has consequence, and it doesn't matter that your speech is free. You are free to say what it is that you want. That when we talk about freedom of speech, we're talking about freedom of persecution from the government, right? So your words are free. You can use them however you want to use them, but that doesn't mean that you are free from consequence from society. And I think that's where people are struggling with this. Well, I'm a comedian. It's just jokes. Y'all should have thicker skin. Don't come to my shows and sit in the front row if you don't want me to talk about you, right? No. How about just come up with better content, right? Like, there's enough stuff, right? Like, if we talk about each one of our families' lives, there's enough content. Yeah, Mama, you're right. Richard Pryor wouldn't survive today. No. If they transition.
Richard Pryor would still be around today because Richard Pryor was a genius at making fun of himself, right? And I think there was a space where Dave Chappelle occupied this for a while, where the joke really wasn't about them, it was about him, right? And his reflection or his experience or his perception of these things, right?
Richard Pryor is that same space right now.
Richard Pryor made a whole segment about him being hooked on drugs and how the crack pipe was talking to him and Magic Johnson out there trying to get him off drugs, and made it funny, right? And it's like, you can make things funny, right? No one's saying don't have a laugh. What I'm asking you to do is stretch your comedic brain to find a new consciousness of funny, right? And if you can't do that, then maybe it ain't for you, dog. It's going to be for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yep. Like, I mean, Red Fox is another one, and I think we make fun of Kevin Hart, right?
Right.
Like Kevin Hart has changed. It's amazing. I was thinking about this the other day as it related to us talking, and I was like, I have a love-hate relationship with personal growth, because you fall in love with people, whether it's comedians or whether it's artists, for who they were. And when you fell in love with them, right? So like for the sake of today's conversation, like when T.I. first came out, right?
Right.
His music was bangers, right?
Yeah. Doughboys in the trap.
And then there's growth, right?
Right.
And then I'm no longer in the trap. I can no longer rap about these things. And then you crucify them and you kill them
Right.
for having growth, right? For not rapping about the things that you fell in love with them for. And so you have this love-hate relationship
Right.
with people's growth. And I think Kevin Hart is currently existing in that space, right? He's always been funny since his first comedy special. And now he has transcended is probably not the right word. He's transformed his comedy to remain relevant. And he's starting to branch out and do other things that are not just his normal comedy, but how can I remain true to myself even in all the things that I do?
Right.
And people hate him for it. And they're like, yo, I'm tired of Kevin Hart. But all he's doing is doing things that other comedians won't do. Right? We're talking about all these other comedians and how they're stuck in their old ways of doing comedy.
Right.
But we also kill Kevin Hart for changing with the times.
See, it's interesting that you bring up Kevin Hart, because I think if I were to go back to Kevin Hart's special, yes, he was always funny, but he wasn't always relevant, right? Mm-hmm. And the time came to where Kevin Hart's style of comedy made sense because it was more relevant at the time. Whether you stay in that moment or you change with that moment or you change with that relevance, that's a decision on the artistry and the creative juices that are flowing, right? And I think I once heard, who was this that was talking? I think it was a producer that was being interviewed by Rick Rubin and was like, the reason why I haven't put out an album in so long is because I used to send a little probe to the bottom. Oh, this is what it was. It was the creator of the Watchmen TV show, right? I can't think of what this guy's name is. I think it's Carlton Cruz or something, right? It's the guy that did the Watchmen TV show, and they were asking him if he was going to have a second season, right? Mm-hmm. Watchmen was a hugely great show. They pivoted, brought in racial elements. It was a great season one. If you have not seen that show, great show to watch. But they were asking him if he was going to do a second season. And he said, when I start off on a project, I have to send down a little probe to the bottom of my soul to figure out what's creatively going on right now, right? And right now, as it relates to season 2, when I send down a little probe, I don't have anything. Does that mean it's going to stop? No. Could it be someone else's show? Maybe. Could it be my show? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm not feeling it. And if I were to force it, it wouldn't be as authentic because I had that for season 1. What I would just do for season 2 wouldn't be true to the creative alignment that happened there, right?
I feel that.
So when I look at like Kevin Hart, he's been able to put that little probe down and find out that what he came back with was really relevant at that time. And now that moment's kind of shifted. And it's going to be interesting to see if he matches that, changes, moves on, does something different. But that's completely on him. And he's a rich guy for that, right?
Right.
What I tend to think of is Mary J. Blige with the same type of things that you're talking about, right? Mary J. Blige's album, My Life, great album. Like probably one of the best R&B albums to ever come out. What you would then find out later on is that everything she's talking about was in the backdrop of her getting abused, used, everything. And it's like, as much as I like that music, right? I know kind of what's going on that drove that moment, pain and that agony that it's just so hard for you to not relate to because she was coming from a real place of pain. Now I compare that with new Mary J. Blige, right? New Mary J. Blige, where she's found her inner peace and is happy. She's making this music that I'm like, I don't like that Mary, right?
Right. You don't like that growth. You like her, but you don't like her growth.
No, I love her growth. I just don't like the music.
It's funny.
I'm not gonna buy another album. I'll be like, hey, I'm happy for you. You're not getting abused. You out here kind of commanding the thing you did. You did football special. You did all that stuff. You did your thing, right? But yeah, I mess with the old Mary's music. I don't mess with the new Mary's music. That's just me. You know what I mean? Maybe that moment's gonna pass. The same for Dave Chappelle and other people. I don't know. But what were you gonna say? Sorry, bro, to cut you off. You still there, Jeff?
Yeah, I think I lost you.
Oh.
I think my AirPods died.
There
we go. We're good. Now they're on the floor.
I was saying, I just don't bump with new Mary's music. I like old Mary's music, but I appreciate the growth. You know what I mean?
No, it's interesting because this conversation happened, and this will be a good transition point because last week, have you listened to the new Kendrick album?
Yes.
And I was listening to it on the way back home from Augusta, and I found myself like, I like the album, but I prefer old Kendrick. Right? And that's where I was like, I don't like artists' growth.
Right.
Like that's where this love-hate relationship comes from, because you fall in love with them in this moment and whatever's driving the music that they're making.
Right.
You struggle with this with the newness of them. The album is amazing, but I'm listening to I'm like, I want old Kendrick back. But you're still like, this is a really dope album, but it's not the Kendrick that I fell in love with, right? So
it's a different Kendrick. It's a different Kendrick.
So I think it's interesting because I think what I'm describing, and I think what we're saying here is it does take some level of maturity on not the artist, but on both parts, from the artist and the consumer, to have some level, like I said, maturity, so that we can understand, like, hey, it's okay for everybody to grow in this genre and for it to still be acceptable, because it's not genuine.
Yeah.
Like right now, if T.I. is a classic example, is he started out as Dope Boy Trap T.I., and then somewhere along the way grew.
Right.
Found out that growth him was less successful or less popular. So let's make a trap album. Let's make Dope Boy T.I. album again later on. And everybody's like, but that ain't you no more. Right. So he was uncomfortable with his own level of success because he fell back into I need to make trap music stuff. And we like, T.I., like, that ain't you no more. Like, you can't make
you just gotta change. You gotta think about your stuff differently, right? Mm-hmm. Because like, think about Adam Sandler, right? I've gone back and watched old Adam Sandler movies and still find them funny, but not because they're culturally relevant and funny now, only for the nostalgia of how crazy was that this was hilarious back then, right? And there's a bunch of crazy stuff in there that's just like, this doesn't even make sense anymore, but it's hilarious because I was young at the time. It was hilarious then. Now I try and watch Adam Sandler now, and I'm like, you didn't grow. You didn't change or anything. You still out here making fart jokes?
It's the stick. And that's, like the artist to me that's done the best job of molding who he is as a person naturally with his style of music is Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Like Rick Ross is hilarious on social, right? Rich as hell, right? He gonna show up and buy a Panther on social and be like, living in the middle of Georgia with a Panther, but I also got this Bentley, right? But then the music that he makes is still relevant to Rick Ross's current place, but still sounds like it comes from a place of passion. Like what Danielle is talking about here is, I think it's still coming from a place of passion and drive and energy.
Right.
And so I think what comes off from that is authenticity in music that I can support and really get behind. So I think for me right now, if I were to say an artist that I can like, you're growing and I still appreciate the hustle and I still appreciate your music, it's probably, and even Kendrick's album was, and to get to what you wanted me to do, Kendrick's album is still super dope. Respect the album. I think for me, me, I'm
I'm like this grimy gutter music kind of person, right? Like my playlist either swings from gospel music to trap music, like there's no in between with me.
Right.
And so for me, like I appreciate what Rick Ross does to stay true to himself, but also stay relevant for his music. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. And as a perfect transition point, right? So it's interesting because I wonder if this plays into certain artists when you think of like Justin Timberlake, right? Mm-hmm. Because you sent me an article the other day, or maybe that was today, that talked about how Justin Timberlake sold his whole catalog of music to an investment group, to a private equity group that had them selling, sold his portfolio for like $100 million, right? Mm-hmm. And I wonder, why would an artist do that? And I wonder if it's this point where they're not finding that creative juice anymore, or they're not finding the passion behind the music anymore, and it's time to just cash in, right?
So I just found another article on it. They listed some of the other artists that have done it. Bob Dylan sold his $200 million. Bruce Springsteen sold his. And so there are a bunch of artists that are doing it, and I think they're just cashing in on an opportunity, right? I think
that's crazy.
Candace and I had this conversation about we've been having this conversation about our house, right? And I think it's looking at the things we own as assets and not being attached to them, right?
Gotcha.
So I love my house, the house that I'm living in, but the value of the house has risen to the space where it makes more sense for me to cash it out and move into something that's a larger asset that can gain me more wealth in the future than it is for me to stay here and be in love with this asset. And it's really breaking the ties of me in love with this house. To me, just simply viewing it as this is an asset in a long list of other assets that I own. Whether it's this house or my music, it's just an asset. And can I leverage it for $200 million?
I don't know, man.
Yes.
I feel that, right? I do feel that like your money should be little soldiers that you send out there to go get more money and bring it back to you, right? Mm-hmm. At that same time, Justin Timberlake's whole catalog was only $100 million. Like, geez.
I wonder. So and this is what I didn't get from that in IG thing that I sent you. Is it $100 million up front plus residuals on what you sell? If that's the case, right? If I'm still making money off of my own music, right? Or is it just, here's $100 million, I got it, 100% mine. We're gonna make all the money off all the radio play and everything else from now on.
So I think there's a couple of things, because I think you hit on this a bit, right? The question is, did he own his masters, right? Because then if he owned his masters, then when he sold it, it was him giving up his own rights to his own music, which is counter to everything that the mega artists have been doing. Jay-Z owns his masters. Mm-hmm. Michael Jackson owned his and the Beatles masters, right? And it was like, there's a lot of money on the table when you're talking about the rights to people's music, right? Like, you cash that in, you liable to hear Cry Me a River in a McDonald's commercial, right? Or a De La Soul song pop up in a kid's Foot Locker joint or a Target commercial or something, right? And it's like, yeah, I get it, but dude, so even if you're getting a little bit of residuals off of that, like,
I'm about to run you the list. This was published by Yardbarker 11 days ago. Leon Russell, he played alongside Elton John. Shakira, 100%. She sold 100% of hers. Fleetwood Mac. Excuse me. Stevie Nicks.
Oh, even still, good God.
She sold 80% of hers. So that means she's still making money on the other side.
Right.
Bob Dylan, Mick Fleetwood sold his, Neil Young, like, bro, like the list goes. I mean, the Beach Boys,
but like,
Barry
wow.
Manilow.
I just don't understand. Maybe I'm not understanding the debates. Like, are they predicting that there will be no more music or something?
Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love sold 98%.
That's crazy, bro.
Hey, like, you know, so Bob Marley apparently has a massive $50 million deal with Primary Wave Music to acquire controlling stake in his catalog. The Beatles, Ray Charles.
Yeah, I just don't understand, bro.
Taylor Swift, $350 million.
Taylor Swift pulled off one of the most ultimate, greatest music hacks in the world. I thought the shit was amazing. She had her music was wrapped up in this rights thing, right? Where they couldn't allow her to change her music, and they took total control over her whole catalog, right? Let me tell you what Taylor Swift did. She re-recorded the album and added song for song. She just added little tidbits of things into the music. Basically the same song, but imagine same song and then she going like this. Different song. Got that music under her control and then released everything out. Total copyright issues that she's going through, but genius. But this is just wild to me that artists would give up that much power to a private equity group too.
Yeah. So I found an article. I'll send it to you. I can't read. And they said a lot of artists, one of the big factors was COVID-19 and their inability to tour and make money off the albums. And then they said there's a huge tax benefit apparently, they said there's a huge tax benefit. Let's see.
There's a huge tax benefit.
There's a huge tax benefit. They said consider Bob Dylan sold his publishing catalog for $400 million at 20%. He's due to pay $80 million to the government. At 37%, he'd need to turn over another $65 million extra. So they said, if some of this is tied to Joe Biden's tax plan, and so they said that, like, bro, like it's. I'll shoot this to you. I mean, there's this
is just insane.
So
it's just insane to me.
The market and their own legacy, and so there's been a slowing down in major quote mature markets, in some of these and for some of these artists. So they just said they cashing it in. I'll shoot this article to you. It's super crazy to think about somebody willing to sell the rights to their music to cash out. Like,
dude, that's crazy to me. It's still kind of cool.
So you're a music head, right? Like, so you know, super music guy, like you love it. And so I'm like, and maybe I'm on the other end of the spectrum because I'm not like a music guy, right? I'm like, it's music. Right. I enjoy it. I listen to it, but I'm also willing to cut it and say, yo, it's an asset. Like if I can make, $200 million.
No, I guess it's not even the fact that they sold it. I like if you needed the money, rather than you being dirt poor, go on and cash out your valuable assets. I get that. What I'm saying is like David Bowie, right? I've read some after you sent me the article that said Bowie's going to sell his estate is going to sell his publishing for $200 million, right? And I'm like, David Bowie's publishing is worth way more than $200 million. Are you crazy? Like, that's a steal.
So Primary Wave, in the article I just sent you, Primary Wave owns 50% of Whitney Houston's estate.
much did they acquire it for? But see, like that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't say.
Like Danielle was just saying in the comments, we don't know what it'll do with the 100 mil for Justin Timberlake. And I'm like, bruh, they got you big time. 100 million? I don't know, man. It's interesting. That's not a lot of money.
No, like all of these people can't be making bad deals, right? And so there has to be something more that's driving this ship, because all of these people who traditionally have smart people around them ain't making that.
That's what you got to be fair. That's what you got to be afraid of. Stevie Nicks is a legend, right? If she ain't get 750 million, you tripping. You know what I mean? Like her music, maybe it's just a valuation type of deal. And maybe it does mean more to me because I am a music head. Mm-hmm. But Stevie Nicks is like, dude, that would be insane. That would be insane. That would be like Pharrell selling his catalog for 500 million. I'd be like this. What is wrong with you? Like, you could easily get a Billy for that catalog. For Pharrell's catalog, that's got to be a Billy at least. A Billy.
One would hope.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Think about this, right? Bruce Springsteen, right? Like we're talking about one of the
Bruce
most
Springsteen. Yeah.
Right? I'm saying, like he's doing it, and so like something can't be like he.
Right. What do these people know that we don't know? Is the music about to be gone? Because if so, I'm not going to sell any of my albums because something is about to go down here where these people are selling this amount of music. And
people typically know what's about to drop, right? Like now, granted, there are probably a bunch of people making some horrible ass decisions with their money. This many people making the same decision, there has to be more to the story.
No. And the scary thing that I would bring up with that is the group that bought Justin Timberlake stuff is owned by Blackstone Investment, right? Mm-hmm. These people ain't playing about their money.
No.
They gonna raise you better prepare. Your Spotify about to be like $100 a month just to pay. They gonna get their money one way or another.
One way or another.
And they gonna pull a Disney. Oh, it's in the vault. Justin Timberlake's music will no longer be released except for every 10 years we'll come out with one album, right? That's where they getting you to. Right now, you're not thinking about it, right? This is what I can imagine is going to happen. And the transition to digital music, once they cut off that spigot, you will get no more music, right? Because everybody going to be like, what happened to that album that I used to have? They took it off of Spotify. I can't listen to it no more. They locked it up on copyright infringements on YouTube. How can I listen to this song?
Napster.
Right? But now with the technology done cut off. So now they're going to be like, hey, people like me that have whole rooms full of albums going to be the rich people. Are just going to be like, I have a pre-negotiated deal of Bruce Springsteen's album. Free play.
If Carrie is at the record store this weekend, you know why.
It's probably the way these people are acquiring music makes me think there has to be, to your point, a speculation on something in futures within that music market that we have to be very aware of. Right?
People that are buying the music ain't in the business of losing money.
Right. They're in the business of making that money.
Yep. These are venture capitalists that are in the business of making money.
Right.
So one of the arguments that the video showed, and maybe we can share it we'll share it on the Drunk Mondays IG, was that they just look at it as another stream of income, another space to leverage money, right? Another asset in their portfolio.
Right.
Justin Timberlake's catalog. So super dope combo.
Yeah, man. All right, man, let's get into the favorite part of the episode, man.
Man, heroes, villains, bro. Heroes and villains.
Yeah, man.
What you got, man?
Let's see. Heroes and villains. There is one main villain that deserves all my focus, but I just don't even have the mental bandwidth to talk about, which is the shooting that happened in Texas. This is ridiculous. Guns everywhere. The fact that as more details are coming out, the police didn't go in. A father, a border patrol agent that was getting his hair cut, apparently got a text from his wife that's a teacher at the school where his daughter goes, says, active shooter, please help, love you. He gets his barber shotgun, goes, runs into some other border agents up there. The police tell them not to go in. They go in, get the shooter. I'm just so lost for words with this whole thing. I don't understand what would drive an 18-year-old to do this. I don't understand why these kids went to school and never came home. That's all I got to say about it. That's my only villain.
Yeah, man, and I do want to. Y'all know me, man, and I think that's my villain for the week as well. Y'all know I have an opinion about everything. And I meant to open the show with it. I'm not numb to this at all. I just at this point and we've been talking about this for a week or 3 or 4 days. I don't remember. I just don't have the mental faculties to dive into it, right? Because I think it all around, right? All around. The police response makes me angry. The police lack of response makes me angry. When we talk about police in there, oh, well, they just want to go home too. No, your duty is to protect and serve, bro. Like, I
Right.
get it. You signed up for this. Like, I've never heard a firefighter get in trouble because they said the fire was too hot and I didn't want to run into the building to put it out, right? And so I'm exhausted from, like, in situations where the police quote unquote fear for their life, they have no issue with discharging their firearm in the backs and in the heads of Black men. But here we are in a space where our kids are in trouble, and come to find out 2 or 3 officers, I forgot, followed the suspect but didn't engage. Right? Like what are we talking about? Right? Like, you guys have no issue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and I'm getting there, and I'm going there, and I'm gonna be done. I'm done. I'm done because I'm gonna go there, and it makes me it pisses me off, because then we have Ted Cruz's of the world that'll come on national TV and say the problem is, we don't have enough good guys with guns. Well, damn it, 3 police officers followed him in. 10 police officers waited outside the door before kicking it down and doing something, right? Oh, we need to arm our teachers. Well, damn it, we ain't paying the teachers enough to do the job that we got them doing now, right? Like, teachers are underpaid and undervalued now. And now you want them to keep little Johnny safe with a gun on her hip or in a safe, or you want the lunch lady to be packing while she's passing out meatloaf, right? Like, I just, like, how about we just pay teachers to be teachers, and that's it, right? And then we talk about, well, we need to lock the doors and make sure that there's one way in and one way out. Well, what happens when there's a fire in the freaking school, right? Like this, like we Ted Cruz's of the world will find every freaking excuse in the world not to say, maybe we should have universal background checks, or maybe that it should be a little bit harder to get a high capacity magazine, in today's world, right? Like all of these things, like, it's like we will do whatever it takes, and then we will spin that shit and say the Democrats or these people are trying to take your guns. And nobody has ever said we're trying to take the guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens. But what we're talking about is an 18-year-old kid, in this case, shouldn't be allowed to go to the gun store, right? Like
Right.
you will ID that bastard for buying Claritin,
Right.
or buying Zyrtec, or buying cigarettes, but you won't ID him or do anything for him to buy a gun.
Or I mean, think about, I've read someone's comment that said, if this was 6 months later, and there were almost for sure be another school shooting at some point, right? Which is sad that that's even a predictable thing. But in some of these states that are outlawing birth control, it's harder to get birth control than it is to buy a gun.
Yep.
Why?
No, the crazy thing is we can legislate what your wife, my wife, or whomever, any of the women.
We have no problem regulating a woman's body.
We will legislate the hell out of what you can do with your body,
but not gun rights.
Hey, a weapon that can kill you? Nah, we can't legislate that. That's in the Constitution. This is batshit crazy.
It's insanity.
I wish I wouldn't have even brought it up, because now I hopped on my mother freaking soapbox about these issues. And it's like, like Candace was like, yo, I don't even want to send Zay to school on his last day of school.
It's crazy out here.
Crazy.
I don't know, man.
Crazy. But we got people that are running. My dad owns guns, right? Like, I have no issue with with your irrational desire to own as many. Like, we had our friend Justin Akuba, they own guns, right?
Right.
I want a gun, right? Like, I have no issue with you getting a gun, with anybody getting a gun. But what we do have to have some sense around is, who has the gun? Are they mentally stable? And if we're gonna blame this shit on mental health, and then we're not gonna give money to prevent mental health issues, you're talking out the side of your mouth, right? Like, you can't say, oh, well, all these people had mental health issues.
I mean,
since this shit started happening, we have done nothing but cut funding to mental health issues.
I just think it's a very strange time, right? Where we are more concerned about potential humans, right? And pregnancies and birth control and controlling women's vaginas, but we're not concerned with actual children that are dying in our school system because of shooters that are walking around with AKs that have no business getting this. His grandfather said, we have no guns. I don't know where he got the gun. He bought a gun. He had two. Where did he get them? His father said, hey, man, I'm an ex-felon. I can't even buy guns.
Bro, then it came out
there. How he got guns.
They said it came out that he was angry because he was bullied because he looked poor and he always wore raggedy clothes. My man had enough money to go and buy a gun, right?
Yeah. The question, the thing that mystifies me about this is, I don't understand what his beef was with the elementary school.
Bro,
I don't get it, right? And I'm not even going to try and overthink this thing, because my brain wants to make sense of these things. And I think the simplest way to reconcile this is a travesty for us to be in 2022 and all around travesty. This boy dropped out of high school because he was being bullied because of a speech impediment and the way he looked. Yeah. In 2022, we have not got beyond bullying people because of the way they talk and the way they look. He then in turn hurt people, right? He shot his own grandmother. Bro. Like that's insanity. And add to it, let's get even more levity to it, right? His father says they had no internet. The only way he had internet was through his phone. He was arguing with the grandmother over the bill on the cell phone, right? He shot her. He then stole her car and then crashed and then went into school. And it's like, this is incredibly sad. And it's just like, hey, there's no way to make sense of this. You know what I mean?
I had this conversation with Candace the other day, yesterday, maybe today, I don't remember shit. The reality of the way I feel right now about police officers is it's super simple. Like, they have no issue with in a very consistent basis going against what their training protocols are, because they, even in this case in Texas, they had trainings for this issue. They had in said school, they did active shooter drills, right? And everything that they did goes against their training. Their training says, hey, you don't have time to wait. So if you're the responding officer, you have to go in immediately. You don't wait for backup. You don't put up a barricade. You engage immediately because time is of the essence. What did they do? Exact opposite of the rule book, right? In all of these cases where police officers are using their gun, they are going literally the other way of what their textbook says. And so at what point, if you are not going to engage in the system, in the training that you are being taught, then at what point do we burn the system down because what you're being trained to do is wrong?
It just doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
It makes sense. It like my man,
the fact that
put his knee on the head of George Floyd and killed him. My other man shot a dude in the back of the freaking head, execution style, black dude, right? All of the woman, and I forgot where she was, pulled out her gun. She said, I pulled out my gun instead of my taser by accident. In all of these, in the case in Texas, police officers did not engage the suspect. They chose to stand back and wait on backup. In all of these situations, police officer after police officer went against what their training said. And so if you can't live up to the training that you went through, why the hell do we have it? And why the hell do we have these police officers?
Right. Like my mom brings this up. My mom brings this up. Instead of fighting about books in schools, pay attention to security in our schools, right? In 22, we're having these conversations about critical race theory and what should be removed out of textbooks, but you can't figure out security at the school.
Yeah.
We are lost. My
son's school in elementary school,
that's insane.
Has a school resource officer. And most of these schools have school resource officers. Them dudes ain't there for security. Them dudes are there as crowd control, right? If a fight breaks out, I'm here to break up said fight and take kid X to jail, right? That ain't what you are there for, bro. Like, you're there to keep our kids safe. And if you can't do that simple job, that simple task that you were hired to do, what the hell are you doing? I'm sorry, I'm done. Hey,
yeah.
I ain't got no.
I can't even go anymore.
No more. Hey, I mean, I could probably come up with a hero because I feel like I need to, man.
I got at least one glimmer that we talked about earlier yesterday that I think is a very interesting dynamic that we do have to bring up, right? And it's something that I can leave people with. So you go ahead with yours, and then I'll leave mine as a leaving thought for as we go into our next episode next week.
So I think hero for us, man, we're in the I'll say it's summertime. That has to be, to be in a space now where I can have a little bit more flexibility with the family, where, work for an organization that really kind of values you taking time off and being with the family, so that's just super dope. And I think that's, for me right now, is the hero. And then also my son, Zay, finished third grade, going into fourth grade.
Hey.
So, I think I said it earlier, man. My man had I told him this like the last day of school. My man had a hell of a year, ups and downs all the way around. But my man closed the school year, and I got to really watch little man mature into he still has his moments, right? Still has his moments. He's my kid, so he's gonna have his moments. But just to watch little man really mature and grow into, a big guy. So he probably still talk back a little bit more than I would like him to. But all in all, man, super, super proud of just little man finishing third grade, headed to fourth grade.
Hey, my lasting thought before we go, right? It was Memorial Day, or it is Memorial Day. And my question that I posed to our small group yesterday was, if you don't say Happy Memorial Day to people,
that's what we're supposed to talk about today.
So if it's Memorial Day is for the remembrance of fallen soldiers, right? So you're not the subject. So you wouldn't go to someone and be like, Happy Memorial Day. I don't really hear people say that, but it's at least socially awkward, right? Mm-hmm. We started talking about holidays. So my question to everyone is, what is Labor Day celebrating exactly? Who is the subject of Labor Day, and what do we do about this? And furthermore, a little bit closer to home, if it's Juneteenth and you're walking around Kroger, you're picking up some stuff. Somebody of a different race walks up to you and says, Happy Freedom Day. What do you say about that? What do you do with that?
So Keisha says, do you not say Happy Memorial Day? Keisha, I don't know what you're supposed to say.
I don't say Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day because you're supposed to be honoring the people who are no longer with us. So who am I saying Happy Memorial Day to?
I thought the subject of Memorial Day was the fallen. Right.
Because so Veterans Day are for veterans.
So I thought you observe Memorial Day. Like you have moments of reflection and I don't know. She's saying, I'm saying you do not say, yeah, you're right. You don't say it. You don't say it.
I don't think you say anything. I think you just do it.
It's just a thing, right? Like Memorial Day. It's not like Happy Memorial Day. Oh. It broaches that same kind of weirdness surrounding how was the funeral, right? When someone says, how was the funeral service? Do you say good? You don't say good. Do you say it was beautiful? I don't know.
I think you say it was a beautiful service.
It was a beautiful service. See, that's very specific. So yeah, Tal said Labor Day is for the workers. Is it?
Ain't they working?
This is controversial to me, right? It's kind of weird, right? Right.
So my question.
It brings up another question. MLK Day. It's his birthday, right?
I think you just observe. I don't think you tell people Happy MLK Day. I think you just exist in it.
Okay. All right.
I don't think there's a thing. I don't think there's another layer to the onion. I think you just exist in the day.
Right. It's a day. It's a observation. It's a day of observance, right? You observe. You don't celebrate it. But to the bigger question, Juneteenth, I got to know. If someone walks up to you and says, Happy Freedom Day, what do you do? What do you do?
I'm with Tal. I'm celebrating having days off, man.
No.
I just know ain't nothing on my calendar. I'm not doing no work.
I mean, but see, that's another reason why I think of Memorial Day as a day where it's like, yeah, I still got to put in work. People died for my freedom, man. You know what I mean?
I'm not doing that. No, none of them days.
So, Mom, you're not. So, someone walks up to you and says, Happy Freedom Day. You're gonna educate them. You're gonna say, but it is something to celebrate, is it not? Is it? Yeah.
Okay. Are y'all going to go to Walmart and buy the red velvet cake ice cream? The great
people don't buy it, but they're going to be like, no, it's not for Juneteenth though. I bought it on June 18th.
Like, I mean, you can go to Target and buy the black-owned. Target has a brand of black-owned ice cream that's made by a black woman. So,
hey,
and the Target in the Walmart version is a ripoff of that. So,
but see, like, why? This is Tal says she's popping off, and I'm like, why are you guys popping off? I just don't get it. Like, someone wants us to be a happy Freedom Day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you that we finally recognize the true day of Independence Day. Don't get mad at me when I don't walk up to you on 4th of July and congratulate you on your Freedom Day. You know what I mean?
Hey, Danielle says she's not buying the commercialized Juneteenth ice cream.
No.
What about the commemorative plates and napkins? Are we buying the commemorative plates and napkins?
The real question is, are y'all gonna sing the freedom song? y'all gonna sing the Black People's National Anthem? Y'all gonna do that?
Oh man.
Y'all gonna be out here saying lift every voice and saying, no, you're not, because you don't know all the words. Be honest, you don't know all the words.
I'm with Tal. I'm taking it as shade.
Why though? Why?
All right, hold on. We both got to work. Can we pause?
I know. We'll come back to it next time.
Oh yeah, Keith's talking about we're gonna get the commemorative candles.
Do the commemorative candles burn black?
Bro.
Hey, I'm just saying. The first stanza. Don't nobody know that whole song. I know y'all get to that point and be like, it's like that. It's like that scene in
Keisha said she know the words. Keisha, you
just don't know the words. She don't know all the words. We gonna test you. Record a video, post it to the page. It's like that scene in Lean on Me when it's like, oh, sing the school anthem. And it's like fairies high.
Right, hold on. Now I got to see if there is a commemorative. Like, see, this is how I get sucked into y'all's foolishness. Juneteenth
commemorative candle. Black Star. The candle's got to be Egyptian musk. Tal, you fooling. You fooling.
Etsy do got a freedom candle. Hold on.
Oh, is it? I don't even want to know. This is crazy.
This is the food. This is how the show should have been 1 hour and 15 minutes, and you should have just saved it for.
We had to get it out because we gotta know these things. The show has to go on, and we started going down a dark alley. I started getting a little sad. You know, no. Put that right back on the shelf. What? Someone got a damn mason jar and filled it up with a candle that couldn't sell at the flea market and put a fist on it, called it a freedom candle. I'm so dead. Dead. No, it doesn't say rustic. It says freedom handmade home decor rustic. And a gift. African American. Oh no, I'm waiting till somebody get this as a present and open it up and be like, hey, you got me a present? The office got you a present, Jamal. What? The office got me a present for Juneteenth? Oh man, this is great. Let's open this thing up. It's a freedom candle. Burn bright, Jamal. Burn bright. We got you the one that was rustic. I hope that's okay. I can't. Y'all got me out here crying. Y'all crazy. I'm so waiting to see this pop up at somebody's office party on Juneteenth.
So you know I'm buying this for you, right?
So I can't wait. If you buy me that, I'm gonna bring it into my office just to see how awkward it is, right? Be like, hey, Carrie, how was your weekend? Well, I got this candle. I'm hoping I can warm it up in the office. It's a freedom candle. Oh my gosh.
I'm done.
Etsy.
I'm done.
Hey, it has 3 sales. It's got 3 sales. There's 3 people out there with this candle right now. There's 3 people walking around the United States with a freedom candle in the house right now for Juneteenth, and they got that joint early. Somebody's like, "This is a good present." I'm so glad I found that. I'm so glad. Oh my gosh, Jeff, you crazy. You crazy.
Okay, yo, I didn't mean
it. Maybe I'm the villain now. I don't know, man. I'm coming for it. I'm coming for it. Just said 3 layers: cherry, sage, and lemon. What does freedom smell like? It smells like hopes and dreams. Y'all crazy. Y'all fooling. Oh no. Not the church. Not the church thing. Oh Lord, Lord Jesus. It's hot in here. Oh Lord, 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 it's hot in here. Jeff gonna be up there like that.
I'm sorry, y'all.
What does it say? Juneteenth is a noun. No. Who is that on the cover? Who is that? Opal Lee. Who is Opal Lee? You know who Opal Lee is? Lord Jesus, it's hot in here. Damn.
Oh, it's in Hepzibah, Georgia.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, this is bad. We got to stop it.
Okay. All right.
We got to stop. We got to stop. This is crazy. I'm sorry. I got to tap out. That was my one laugh of the day. Jamal and his freedom candle at work. They didn't give Jamal the day off, but they gave him a freedom candle.
Hold up. Like, fam, I'm done. I ain't got nothing left. Like, the freedom candle.
Oh my gosh. That was the last tangent. We gotta go.
Hold on. One more. Here you go. Only because people asked what does Juneteenth smell like? There we go.
Unbothered. Okay. Yeah. What is this?
The matches are unbothered. It's cannabis, rose, and frankincense. Just
not July 4th. Crossed out. Wait a minute. This candle is dynamic, one of a kind, and scroll down. We got to read this. and necessary. Light in celebration of Freedom Day in unity with descendants of freed enslaved. And vigil for all lives lost in the pursuit of freedom. And as a reminder that we have more work to do. This is your freedom candle. Cotton wicks, 100% cruelty free. Okay. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Can't just say this smell like weed and Jesus.
No. Don't do that, y'all. We're like, somebody ever, what is that smell?
It's weed and Jesus.
It's freedom, damn dad.
Kyle said, is it a cotton wick?
Dead. Tal, I'm dead. It's the cotton wick for me.
Throw it away.
Go on, burn that.
Burn a cotton in 2022.
Burn it.
Oh gosh, I'm over here sweating and crying.
Freedom candles. What does that smell? I want somebody to take that candle to work and put it on a coffee cup warmer let your office know.
Danielle, just know I am buying y'all a freedom candle. I am buying the Claibornes a freedom candle.
People gonna be mad as hell. I'm gonna go up to work and every black person I see that damn be like this. Freedom Day. Freedom Day. And it's no daps that day. No handshakes, just Freedom Day.
Oh gosh. I'm done. I'm sorry, y'all. We should have been over 20 minutes ago.
Freedom.
20 minutes ago.
Freedom candles unite. By the scent of your smell, we will all be free.
Like
now, sold at Walmart.
Smell like weed and Jesus.
Weed and Jesus.
What's freedom smell like? Weed and Jesus.
What is that smell? It's freedom.
See, now my wife talking about we should order a bunch of freedom products and review them on Juneteenth.
I love it. That's the day after Father's Day. We need to do this. Y'all want to see an episode where we just try out products?
We're going to try out freedom products.
Is this freedom juice? Right. Freedom juice.
Freedom products. Oh, Tal, you know I'm getting ice cream. Please.
Oh, we totally got to do this now because now I can think of so many segments. I could do, what does freedom taste like? It doesn't taste like Team Spirit. Hell nah. We're going to have fun. Juneteenth is trademark. What? People done already got to the trademark. That's crazy.
All right.
Cocoa butter. Can't forget the cocoa butter.
You can get a Juneteenth 300 value pack.
Of what?
Of bookmarks, wristbands, and pencils.
Ain't nobody using pencils anymore. Who used pencils?
Hold on. What? Like, stop. Stop. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna share. I'm one more time. See, I went down a rabbit hole.
You're still down there, man. What is that? No. What company is this? What? Wait. Go over the back of it. I got to see what this says. Click on that. Zazzle. Undo it. Let's see.
No, it's just the ingredients.
Oh, whack. But aloe vera. Where's it made out of? No. Go back. Where's it made out of? Deerfield Beach. Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. All right, I'm done.
Okay. Exit out of that. I want to see the other color scheme that they got. Oh. No. Oh no. My people.
Why, Jesus?
Why did we do this? This is exactly what we thought was going to happen as soon as they made it a federal holiday.
We was asking for people to stop shooting us in the back, and they made Juneteenth a holiday.
They
and
made
this is
hand sanitizer.
We get hand sanitizer.
Y'all be careful now.
This is our own fault. This is our fault. This is our fault.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, this is wild. So
this is our this is our fault. Stop. Hold on. Nope. I got you. Nope. One more and I'm done. Let's see if I can pull it up. Here we go. Here we go. All right. And then, okay, for real. After this, I promise y'all I'm done. I have nothing else left. Here we go.
No. See, I don't think you can wear the shirt, right? But it comes in different colors? No. Nope. Oh my gosh. No, I'm not there. I'm not there.
Hold on, you don't. I mean, you're not ready for.
Mm-mm.
No. But see, he what? He's an ally.
Hey, he can be an ally. You just need to take off that damn shirt. Sir, go on and take that shirt off.
Hold on. So what about the black one? What about the black one?
I could rock with it a little bit.
Okay. Even with okay. Yeah. I ain't got no more left, man.
Oh, we're gonna find a bunch of stuff, trust me.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a show on Juneteenth and we're gonna review products. Because that, yep, Candace says exactly what it was. Culturally ambiguous.
I got you. Hold on.
You about to share something too?
I'm gonna share this one thing.
Hold on.
You gonna get your freedom chips? 320, them joints stale as hell.
Make it bigger. Hold on.
I don't know how to make this bigger, man.
Hold on. Can we make that bigger?
Hold on. Oh.
There we go.
You got it?
I mean, I made it as big as I could.
The freedom chips. That's right.
But why they got it in the grass?
Because man, they had to stage that joint.
Why we couldn't stage it with a bunch of other chips?
Because man, you're not thinking three-dimensionally.
Can I order one bag or do I have to get it in the set?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you gotta get your freedom chips. So we're gonna try out a bunch of products. That was a fantastic idea that I think we have to go on and get these things ordered so we can do them for the show. So
Candace said, what's the flavor of the freezing chips?
You know what the flavor is. Is cannabis and frankincense. Got to order by the case. That's right.
Oh gosh.
All right, gotcha.
Y'all ain't got no sense. She said house that barbecue.
Lemon pepper wet. Lemon pepper wet. Oh no. Y'all tripping. I can't mess with y'all no more.
I'm done. Hey man, Great episode.
Great episode.
I can't wait. You know what? That was the perfect way to end a really hard episode. The way we ended would have been really hard. Tal said it's flavored Hennessy.
It's flavored as Hennessy. Lemon pepper wet.
That was the perfect way to end a really hard episode, man. So
yeah, man.
Hey, we appreciate all our listeners and watchers for hanging on with us for 2 hours with the episode.
This was a long one. We made it through though. So
yeah, hopefully we made it fun.
All right, we're gonna catch y'all next week, man.
Hey, I'm Jeff.
I'm Carrie. Peace out, y'all.
Bye, baby.